Welcome to my presentation titled Privacy Preserving Approaches for Location Based Services. Where are we right now? That has always been an important question, and these new set of services making it even more relevant. It can save our time, our money, or even our life. These set of services are built on telecom operator network that takes advantage of the fact that it needs to know who you are and our location is the key. Just think of the network of the devices that moves around. Who are they? What they are doing? Knowing such answers adds value services to the consumer. Popularity of the mobile phone, feed with GPS, the complete bot home, the location based services to the consumer. It is a powerful and smart technology that makes the user's life easier. So as per connotation, these services needs the user exact location coordinate information in order to supply the exact services to the user. What are the services we seek through LBS? You just think of going and find out where is the nearest petrol pump, where is the nearest eatery destination, based on your location coordinate, where is the nearest ATM, cinema, what is the weather forecasting for the city you are traveling, or can you plan your travel without wasteful driving? Can we can we control and can we find out where the fleets are, where the commodities are that we sent, or it can help you in the case of an emergency. These are the LBS component that is make responsible to make this smart technology work. So it provides the right target audience, the right information at right place and at right time. Where mobile client gives the queries to the base station, it sends to the corresponding location-based servers, and with the assisted databases, location-based server provide result back to the mobile client and provide the required data. Location privacy is one of the important aspects that needs to be taken care while using such kind of delicate services. I would never want to reveal whether I have visited any diagnostic center just to find out whether I am HIV positive or not. But still, at the same time, I want to use these services by communicating my location coordinates. Nobody would want to reveal that they have visited the any dispensary, because visiting a doctor for certain advices and later on visiting the baby shop product will tell you altogether a different story about a human. During the morning, we all teachers have our normal life, but in the night, I would want to go with my friends to the pub or anything. I want to use the location based services so that it can give me the route assistant, but at the same time, I do not want to reveal or I do not want anybody to sniff about where I actually went. Because location coordinates are that sensitive that anybody can know by relinking these location coordinates with the quasi identifier or the publicly available data whether these coordinates belong to a temple or a church, and it will not be very difficult to know that a person is a Hindu believer or a church believer. These days these days industry is also taking most of the interest into the location data. Just think of the example where you get into the mall and your favorite brand sends you the message or the push messages to your mobile devices saying today we have an extra 50% discount on certain apparels. Even you don't want to go, but using your location based location coordinate, that merchandising is saying you that you can use those services. Such services are known as geotagging. But at the same time, if you are using this, then that person who is actually sending you these promotional promotional offers would know that you are in the mall. That means you're not at home. So if somebody knows where you are, then someone can know where you are not. And that is the motivation that made us work in this area of location privacy. For the location privacy, there are many authors who have already given certain solutions. We have categorized those solutions into two kind of broad architecture: centralized architecture and decentralized architecture. See, decentralized architecture assume there is a third party sitting between the user and the location based service provider and responsible to anonymize the user. On the other hand, in decentralized architecture, no third party is involved, and the uh, the peer-to-peer group formation will take place, and these ad hoc group formation will responsible to carry out the communication to location-based service provider. These are the brief comparison of these defense architectures. On the basis of these advantages and shortcomings, we have come up with certain solutions. These are the defense architectures that is already present in the literature. Here we can say the left arm has explored much, because trusted third party based is the work where most of the work has been carried out, while trusted third party free architecture or decentralized architecture is the approach where less work has come forward. The main principle of privacy is one of the most established principle is k-anonymity, which says that if a person wants to be anonymized, then with the minimum area, more number of users can be involved, and instead of sending one query or one information, location based server will be receiving all the information of 5 users. In this case, the number of users that is added to the AMIN is 5. That is depicted 4 in the red color and 1 in the black color. So location based server will not able to know that whether the query has been sent by the black user or the red user. That means the identifying the real user, the probability of it got reduced by 1 by k, where number of k people are involved within one area. In my PhD thesis, we have explored first trusted third party based architecture and proposed the solution vicinity protection or VicPro. In this, we have explored the concept of principle of k-anonymity, and what we have assumed that instead of adding the k number of users from one vicinity, how about adding more vicinities and then exploit the value of k. This will take an advantage. Not only we are going to strengthen the user privacy, but at the same time we are going to strengthen the vicinity privacy. So basic idea is, instead of adding more number of users from one vicinity, let's fulfill the value of k from more number of vicinities, such that even if the location based server will get the data, it will not able to know who sent the data and from which vicinity the information was sent. In order to find the more vicinities, we have used the concept of geometric transformation, and using this geometric transformation, we have come up with the more vicinities to fulfill the value of k. So this is the experimental result that we have carried out. We have conducted this on our Institute Sardar Vallabhbhai National Institute of Technology, and we could able to fulfill the value of k anonymity on the basis of transformation suggested. So this is the experimental result that we could able to find out. Here we can see one of the benchmark approaches. VicPro could able to suggested VicPro could able to do much well, but at the same time it is strengthening the privacy, while rest of them only exploiting the value of k anonymity based on single vicinity. We also able to find out that our results and our approach is foolproof from center of ASR attack. Then, because of the graver assumption of trusting third party in itself a graver assumption, so we have further came up with trusted third party free solution and known as CAST. There is no trusted third parties involved, and all the communication is being carried out using the ad hoc group formation. Caching with trust is the full form of CAST, and we have taken the syllables to make the acronym of it. The CAST is based on the phenomena of liking and disliking. If I work in a gym, then chances of sending the query like where is the nearest protein shop is much higher than those who are not going to gym, those who are standing out. So people who share these places have the common liking and disliking, and the chances of sending the similar queries will be higher. So the similar idea is exploited in this model. In this model is based on the collaborative caching. So the idea is, if a person is going to send some query, because they are sharing the physical place, then chances of getting the answer of this query will be much higher in the peer's mobile. So first the peer mobile will be searched. If there is no such information is present, then only location based server will be contacted. For in order to identify this, we have identified the four parameters: the fulfillment count, communication and exchange count, and raise flag count. Fulfillment count is based on how good the result of a query is being provided by some peers to other. Communication exchange count takes care of how many total communication a peer took part in, and while raise flag count is used to filter out the malicious user from the peer group. Using these three parameters, we have come up with the fundamental trust equation that is responsible to finding the trust before making the collaborative caching. As a convention of the caching, hit local and hit collaborative, miss local and miss collaborative have the similar meaning. Hit local says when the location based server query have the result in the mobile device itself, in the user mobile device itself. If it is not present, then we call that case miss local. On basis of the miss local, we go with hit collaborative. That means if the particular data item solution is not found in the mobile user cache, then the caching will be performed. If k is equal to 9, that means 8 more users will be the part of that peer group and their mobile caches will be searched. If data is found there, then we call it hit collaborative. If the required data is do not find there, then we call it miss collaborative. And only on miss collaborative the location based server will be contacted. So whatever I told you, this story we have divided into these three phases: phase 1, phase 2 and phase 3. Discovering neighbors phase suggests how can we discover more k number of neighbors. Then we evaluate their trust, and if all pass through the minimum trust evaluation criteria, then the group will be formed. And finally, caches will be collaborated. We have come up with the experimental result for this, and for different values of k, we could able to capture few of the results. We have made few of the runs where this run is for non-distinct data item run, where all the all the mobile caches have distinct data item and there is no duplicacy. And here we can find out, here we can see for the cache sizes 20, 50 data items, 100 and 150, when the data items are higher, then the data retrieval rate from the server percentage was very low. So these are the another experimental result. These set of experimental results says when for different cache sizes and different values of k, we have tried to identify this. And here we can say when cache size is 150, that means 150 data items was there, and for k is equal to 20, when 19 more users were there to make the ad hoc group, in that case 97% time the data could able to gather either locally or collaboratively. So that means only 3% of the time the location based server is contacted and your privacy is strengthened. Finding the trust and getting the results is in itself a little expensive task. So later we come up with some hybrid architecture trying to explore and trying to exploit the advantages of both the trusted third party based and trusted third party free architecture while curbing their shortcomings, and we call it the HYB architecture or HIB. So this is a motivation of HIB coming up with the HIB. So that means trusted third party in itself is a graver assumption. Why to trust a third person? Trusted third party free architecture, trust evaluation itself an expensive task. So that's why we have tried to come up with a solution that have advantages of both of the existing approaches. This is a proposed system model where we assume that these location based mobile users want to access some of the data that present on this server, and only third parties involved for certain computation. If you carefully notice, we do not call it trusted third party, because even if it is a third party, what the data we are providing him is encrypted in its encrypted form, and even if it has the data, it will not able to decipher it. So we make use of the public private key pair or the asymmetric cryptography in order to accomplish it. First stage says that first congregation is made. Ad hoc congregation says that if the query issuer U A wants to send some query to the location based server, first it will find the centroid of all the K users that is involved to perform the ad hoc congregation. First A will send some small split or the token value to every other users. These users will add those value to their location coordinate, will send it back to the query issuer. Query issuer will subtract that value that was given to them and then divide that value by the number of the participants and will able to find out the centroid of the user. This centroid location is used to carry out the rest of the communication. So this is a protocol one that I have just talked about, where the mobile user tweaks her location and finally the encrypted centroid value is computed. Finally, the centroid value or XC and YC is encrypted with the private key. This is encrypted with the public key of the location based server and sent to the location based server or the sent to the third party TP third party, because the coordinates of X and Y are encrypted. So that's why the third party, even if it has the encrypted location coordinate, it will not able to harm it. Further, we use the concept of homomorphic encryption that is given by the Gentry in the 2010, because third party is now having encrypted data and we want to perform certain computation. So we was in the search to have a phenomena so that computation can be performed on the encrypted data, and that was given by the homomorphic encryption in the year 2010. Let me walk you through an example. Suppose this queen wants to make some necklace for herself, but she doesn't trust anybody, but still she hired two of the people who know how to make the necklace. At the same time, she make a box. That box key is always with that queen, and she wants to make such kind of a beautiful necklace, but she never trusts the employees. What he does, she actually ordered the box. This box is made in such a way so that hand gloves are there, all the tools are there, all the required stone is there, and what you need to carve. Anyone who has this skill will come here, will carve it, and then this will be made. But that person cannot take this jewel outside. The moment the process is completed, the jewel is made, and finally, because queen had the key, it opened the box and take out this. We had the similar concept of homomorphic encryption in this scheme. In this scheme, because the location coordinates are encrypted and they are present in the third party, so third party use the concept of homomorphic encryption in order to find certain computation. So these all phases which I told you, we have divided into the 4 phases. Ad hoc congregation is made, then these values with the communication from TP to LBS and back takes place. After that, the third party computation takes place, and finally the right amount of information is decrypted by the mobile user. Phase 1, congregation is formed and query is generated as per the protocol 1 and protocol 2 that I have discussed in my earlier slide. In phase 2, the third party sends this query keeping the encrypted location coordinate to itself and send this query along with the value of participant K and base station information. And finally, LBS, based on this coordinate BSC, it sends the candidate results. Candidate result means a bunch of results. Out of them, many can be more relevant and many can be less relevant. Whether they are relevant or not relevant, this TP computation takes place and it finds how much closer these values are to the encrypted coordinate, because the data is present in the encrypted value, and because encrypted computation needs homomorphic encryption in order to compute it, and it produces the same result as it would have been carried out on the plain text. So we took that advantage of homomorphic encryption, and finally with this the mobile user could able to decrypt it with its own private key, and finally the most relevant result will be kept by the mobile user, and rest of the result is broadcasted to all the K values, K people or K members of the congregation. We have tried to use the different parameters to evaluate the performance of the suggested approach. And we could able to find out that for the TP computation, the anonymity parameter and key size play a very good role. If the value of k is higher, we can see that higher it takes much of the time to perform the certain computation. The similar impact is seen on the decryption as well. Minimum distance centroid function and the TP computation that is performed by the third party, these are the miscellaneous tasks that has been carried out, which has a very minimal impact, but when we run for the higher value of k, it shows a very high significance. So the novelty of this proposed work is lies in the fact that it involves the value, or it involves the third party, but still third party cannot perform anything maliciously even if we are not trusting it. And homomorphic encryption technique is used with the modified input data in order to take most out of it. And we have also tried to analyze the performance of this technique based on various key sizes and based on different values of k. These are the open issues and challenges that we could able to cover by the end of my PhD. The value of anonymity parameter is not yet standardized. For k is equal to 5 is okay in the country like India and China, where a lot many people are there, but k is equal to 5 we are unable to fulfill. Even in the desert, if we go to the Gulf countries desert, where you don't find any person, so can we say if k is equal to 50 we are secure, but if k is equal to 49 we are not? So it is still a debatable and explorable area of anonymity parameter. Indoor location privacy is another aspect that has been not um, exploit too much. Privacy and machine learning, can we add machine learning so that the privacy can be be predicted? The location aware access control, right, where if you are in the institute, then that access control will be given to you the moment you comes back. You are no more dean at the dean position, you are not in that institute where you are dean, so you will not be given those kind of privileges that you are otherwise be given when you are at that place. And location privacy and quality of services, can we strengthen the privacy without deteriorating the quality of services that we are getting from this? So these are all the solutions, and these all are the challenges that that are still open. And with this, I would like to thank you for giving me the chance to present my work over here. So you can reach me out on this. Thank you so much. So sure, privacy is a nebulous concept, famously hard to define and difficult to protect, but that does not mean it's not worth the effort. So keeping in mind, I would encourage all the privacy security researchers to work in this and contribute a big time in this domain. Thank you so much.